Hey, Damon, good morning, my friend. Good afternoon. Happy Wednesday. How are you?
I'm doing great, Kurt, and ready to go.
All right, let's dive in. And hey, this is awesome, man. So super excited to be here. Hey, we're trying to connect with your LinkedIn. What's going on there?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna try it again here, but we'll give it a go.
Okay.
Um,
Hey, we'll just fire through. You know what?
yes, we
We
will.
are on, man, little LinkedIn issue today.
It's
There
going to
we go.
you. Is
Hey,
your
there
link?
we go. Hey, how about that? Now here, hey, Damon, let's try that again. Happy Wednesday. Good morning. Good afternoon. How are you?
I'm doing great, man. I'm ready to go. Excited to talk about the digital game plan today. Think it's going to be something that people can learn a little bit about.
Let's do it. So let's go. All right. Let's dive in. So a digital game plan, Damon. What are we talking about here? What is a digital game plan? What do you think of when you hear
I don't really know.
that?
No, seriously. I mean, when you think of digital game plan, you always think of game plan. It's like, how are we going to approach something?
Right.
You and I, baseball fans, sports
Right.
fans in general,
Right.
it's you got to have a game plan if you're going to go out and win. And really, the digital game plan allows you to really align or get your thoughts in order
Mm.
around what the heck do I want to try sales and marketing wise to really get in front of the right people, say the right things, and show up the right way.
Yeah, I totally agree. I love what you're saying there. Just kind of getting your thoughts in order. A lot of times it's just, we get into that. I think a dear friend of ours, Michelle Jones, was on the show. She called it the tactic sprint. You're just, hey, let's throw things on a wall. Let's do this. Let's do this.
Yeah.
But when you get more strategic, we have an opportunity to drive success, kind of narrow that focus, right? And sometimes you just need to you and I are at an age and stage. I'm trying to get away from paper. My goal is, my e-commerce business 100 years ago, we went paperless, and that was like 2008, 9. That was like so cutting edge. And here I am 15 years later, and I'm still living on paper. So I'm trying to go more digital, practice what I preach. And all the time I'm sitting there, I'm writing something down, and I'm like, well, if I write it here, am I going to find it? Like, I'm going to lose this card somewhere, right?
Yeah.
But if
Yeah.
I put it on somewhere digital, if I have a marketing hub, kind of that source of truth, that one spot where, like, now, hey, Damon, remember we were talking about something 3 months ago? Yeah, Kurt, just go to the digital game plan. It lives right there, right? So
Yes.
that's the intention. That's the spirit, is like, how do you get everything, all your information collected into one place, right?
Yeah, it's a place where you can drop thoughts and ideas that you may or may not use now, but they could help you later, or it could be a part, main part of your strategy right now. It's really to flush them out and get into the things that are going to make a difference.
It's your GPS, right? It's your
Yeah.
North Star. It's what direction are we going? So hey, let's dive right in, Damon. So hey, we've got a little program here that we've got a fun, man. Are you ready for this, dude? Are you ready?
I'm ready for it.
All right, let's rock and roll. So, hey, our dear friend Jojo put this together. This has been a work in progress. We've been building this with our clients for years. And so, a dear friend of ours, our coach, our mentor, Jojo, she's probably half our age, but she's been just doing a wonderful job helping us build this out. Of course, the rest of our team, Amy, Teresa,
Yeah.
Jason, all sorts of input, plus all of our clients. So we have a digital game plan right here that we'd love to just, go over with folks. And again, it's just that guide, that North Star to dive in. Now, Damon, a place I love to start, I'm a little bit of a geek here, when you hear that SWOT analysis, right? Do you remember do you remember when you were introduced to a SWOT? Do you remember? Can you think
Oh
back?
yeah.
When,
Yeah.
when was the first time you heard SWOT?
Yeah. I don't know. I wasn't 25 probably.
Right. So I was
Yeah.
actually a little bit older. I was probably like later 20s. And I had a buddy that was working corporate. I had this little tiny disastrous business. And my buddy calls me. He was like, hey, well, and I went to business school and stuff. And he was like, hey, what's your SWOT? And I'm like, is that a TV show? Like, what are you talking about? The SWOT, And he's like, no, it's strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. And
Yeah.
it's just such a game changer, right? Just such a game changer to fully understand. Do you want to share a little bit? Why do you feel understanding your strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, threats? Why are those so important?
Well, I think it really you need to understand where your strengths are You need to understand where your opportunities are, because that's where you want to focus your time, right? Yes, I know SWOT has weaknesses in it, right?
Yep.
I really think that, and you can talk to a lot of people and they'll agree with this, and there's people that'll disagree, obviously. But your weaknesses, as long as they're not killing you, you can't take a weakness and go from 10% good to 70% good, right? And if you work on your strengths, you work on your opportunities, and just mitigate the risk from your weaknesses, you're going to be all right with that. But really understand your strengths. And I like the question that we ask in the digital game plan. How does your business beat the competition? Right. Now, that's a great way to think about, how do you beat the competition? Are we faster? Are we more efficient? Do we work with them better? There's just a lot of different ways that you do that. Do you provide more experience? Do you help them create better results with what you do? There's just a lot of things. And then the opportunities, they can be a plethora of things. It could be outwardly, where you go outwardly. We just aren't as prominent in our community and our industry, in our region, whatever it might be. And inwardly, what are our opportunities inwardly that will help us be better out towards our customers as well? Like operational things. Do we really need to look at things like lead time? Do we really need to look at things like customer service? I mean, there's those kind of things that we can change inward and outwardly that'll help us in our opportunities.
Dude, well said. Absolutely love everything. And so what we've done is like, hey, when you hang out with Damon and myself, we like to say, hey, there are no weaknesses. There are no threats. We just have the so, right? So we call it the so versus the so what. So just laser focus on your core strengths. What are you absolutely best at? What were you put on God's green earth to do? Your passion. How do you help people move the needle, whether it's a product, service, solution, whatever it might be? So what's your core strength? So what we love to do is this, it's a little bit of a brag party, we'd like to say, Damon. And you just put in your core strengths. Like, hey, what are we best at, man? We're like, what truly separates us? If we interviewed our customers, what are those separators? The opportunities, gosh, I wish I had a crystal ball. Mine's at the repair shop. How's your crystal ball doing, Dana?
Yeah, it's not working so well.
Mine's not working. So, trying to have some foresight, but the more that you laser focus on what you're best at, I call it like, say your local favorite legendary traditional restaurant, when people go away, we got to come back to get this, your favorite pizza, your favorite, whatever it is, right? It's, focus on those core strengths, and then that helps you guide those opportunities. Are there tech changes? Is there something with AI? Do you have a secret sauce? What are the opportunities, and how can we just really focus and exploit those? Now, the so what is, that's where those weaknesses come in, right?
Yeah.
It's like, so what is so special about you? Are there things on your website that you just wish that would go away? Damon, I'd love for you to chime in here. We had somebody on our show and we asked, what's the best business advice that she ever received? It was Cher Jones. And she said, her mentor told her, you need to know your resentment dollars. Remember that one?
Yes.
So just share a little bit. What do we mean by so what? And how can we discipline ourselves to get out of that so what box?
Yeah, well, this is part of, we'll talk about it maybe, but it's talking about yourself a lot on your website, talking about things that really don't matter, right? Because you can say, hey, we've got the nicest trucks in the world to deliver our products to you, and your customer doesn't care. All your customer cares about, are they going to get the right product they need that's going to do a really good work for them? They don't care about the truck.
Right.
The truck, as long as it's functional, as long as it's not going to hurt anybody getting there, they just want to make sure you've got a good truck. Doesn't have to be new. Those are some things that people don't care about. And this is incredible when you start talking to manufacturing too, right? Because what do you first see when you see a metal fabrication place, a CNC machining company? You see a huge list of all their equipment. And while that is important to some, it's not front page material, because what's more important to someone that's going to buy a CNC machine part is, I machine this kind of part out of this kind of material for these kind of customers, this size or something like that. Not, I have this Mazak blah 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 thing that's $1 million, and it's $2 million. They really don't care about that.
Right. And so it's just really identifying, it's just speaking to the solution, right? Just diving
Yeah.
into the solution of the problem that you solve and just executing that. And a lot of times it's having the discipline of, having certain customers like we just don't, we're not a good fit for you, you know?
Hmm.
I always use this example. If there, there's a Planet Fitness in about every community, right?
Yeah.
It's like McDonald's of, so and if you walk into Planet Fitness, they have a big sign right on their wall describing a person, a specific person who they really, you're not invited to work out at Planet Fitness. They call
Yeah.
them a lunk. Like if you're a lunk, and they actually have a name like that. I can't remember. It's like Jimmy has his tank top and he has his gallon jug of water and he's grunting and slamming weights and they have an alarm. And if there's somebody that slams weights, somebody behind the desk hits the button and this alarm goes off, kind of embarrassing the lunk of like dropping or slamming the weights because it's not welcome at Planet Fitness. So my point is, every time I was just there this morning and the lunk alarm goes off, and I'm like, I don't know if I have the discipline to put on my website, nothing personal, but I'm not a good fit for you. But just think of eliminating those resentment dollars,
Yes.
those
Yes.
customers that not only do they regret coming to you, you probably regret them knocking on your door. And so if we focus on our strengths and opportunities, it helps us eliminate those so what opportunities.
Yes. Yes. There's a great point to be made there is by reducing the amount of people that find you for the wrong reasons
Yes.
helps you an awful lot and helps them.
Yeah.
Right. They don't want to waste their time.
Yeah.
They may be, and even people that are, shooting a long shot, they don't want to waste their time.
Right.
They may not realize it, but they don't want to. And if you certainly don't want to, they don't want to. It's good for you to weed them out ahead of time.
And we heard that from many companies that we work with. We're like, gee,
Yeah.
we get this particular lead or this particular client, if we can just have that language. And the other thing is, have that strong referral network to find someone that is a better fit for them,
Yes.
So, all right, so let's dive in. So Damon, on this next one, we're going to talk about, hey, we're baseball fans. We're going to talk about rounding the bases. What on earth are we talking about here?
Yeah. No, this is a great place. I mean, I love the baseball analogy here. Can't speak yet. Only one cup of coffee in me, but we really like this because you can go through this to help organize current and existing or current and potential customers into, are these, the customers that are going to just absolutely blow you away if you get them. That could be a home run. Are you going to have these singles that are going to be a customer that they're nice, they come and go, but they're just come back once in a while. They're good. Your doubles, your triples, it's just they get a little better, a little more frequent, a little better fit, all the way into those home runs where, man, if I had 4 or 5 of those home runs, I would have the business of my dreams. And it's just, that's the way it works.
Yeah, that's right. And it's really, it comes down to preference, right?
Yeah.
If you've had a business where, say 80-90% of your business are coming into your, what you call your home runs, and you're like, man, this is awesome, but I have 3 home runs that represent 90% of my business. And if I lose one of them, I'm in deep trouble, So that can create a huge vulnerability. On the flip side, if your business, you're like, man, I just love those singles, batting for average, you and I could rattle off some, Hall of Famers that just, maybe they didn't hit a lot of home runs, but they were always on base, right? And so, maybe I love singles. When I can get that home run, it just, that just makes my business even better. It takes a lot of resources, a lot of energy. But what we love to do is we love to encourage to have our clients, have our, folks that we're working with, is how do you put some of these clients in buckets? And so who's that single? And what we've talked about, Damon, is like putting them with dollar amounts, right?
Yeah.
We have a client, wonderful client in Chicago. Their single is $500,000 and under, Their doubles are $500,000 to $1 million. Their triples are $1 million to $2 million, and their home runs are $2 million and up. Well, I had a business 100 years ago. Guess what? My single was $500. It was a very small business. Maybe you're double, So it's like setting dollar amounts of like, what are these customers, and then putting them in buckets. And how do you? It's just understanding that ideal customer in each of those buckets.
hmm And really, then you begin. This is where you begin to look at, because it's not just the identifying the company, but then it's also identifying the person within the company that you're going to need to reach out to in those situations to really make that connection, build that relationship.
100%. So then the next step, what we'd like to do is by understanding our singles, doubles, triples, home runs, we've gone through our strengths and opportunities. We focus on our rounding the bases. Now we can come in and like really identify that buyer persona. And again, a dear friend of ours put together this little worksheet that we love taking our clients through where they can create their own buyer persona. And it can fall in that bucket of like, hey, this customer is a single. I'll take these singles all day long. They're wonderful. If I lose one or two, doesn't devastate my business. I'm going to go back out
Yep.
and replace them with more singles. Maybe we could put in a who's our triple. Put our triple in here and really understand, hey, they're a buyer at a larger corporation or what that might look like. Damon, why do you feel that a buyer, you really understand that buyer persona, the intimate details? Why is that just so critical?
Well, okay, so the people change, right? So if my singles are, more solopreneur, 10 person or less kind of businesses, and then I go into my doubles and triples and home runs. Well, if my home run is a large corporation, I'm going to be talking to a buyer in a large corporation. In the small singles, I'm probably talking to the owner or the next in charge or something like that. And really, you need to be able to understand that, because that person is going to have dramatically different pain points, contact, the preferences, what their really goals in life and business are. And you have to take that into consideration in how you think about your products and services and how they might help them.
Yeah, completely. So again, okay, so now we're going step by step, understanding your core strengths and
Yeah.
opportunities, diving into your understanding your buyer that we've identified those buyers in different buckets of rounding the bases, our little fun baseball
Yep.
analogy, creating that buyer persona. Now, Damon, we are huge advocates. We practice what we preach on creating that vibrant referral network. We like to call it that Soulmate 100. Can you please describe for our friends out there what is the Soulmate 100?
Yeah, those are really your friends, family, current customers, business associates that you really feel may have one to many relationships or be a real advocate for you, that you want to stay in contact with, help reach out, whatever you can to help develop them as that referral partner for your business.
100%. So, you always use that line, that one to many. How can
Yeah.
I create a relationship? So, maybe it's your local chamber of commerce, maybe it's a
Yep.
trade association. I always like to kid around. I've got a lamp around here somewhere. If you have a lamp and you're selling lamps, well, who would be a great referral network? Well, how about the person that sells the light bulbs, right? The person that makes the lamp shade. How about the person that makes the nightstand? So again, I'm being a little bit of Captain Obvious, but we want to think about who could be that vibrant referral network that we're sending business their way with no expectations, just being that
Yep.
ultimate go giver. And man, when there's a problem that needs to be solved or a product needs to be purchased that you provide, that you're first, front and center, front of mind.
Yep.
So again, what we love to do is get our clients to just really, get intentional, get very specific in here on like who can be that Soulmate 100. Damon, we won't go through the whole thing today. Let's go through. Let's dive into how about Rick's, man. How about our Ricks? Let's dive into what on earth. What is a Rick? Is that your cousin, your uncle? Who's Rick?
Yeah, I don't have a Rick in my family, but it's really important when we talk about the digital game plan, because we have to, let's all face it, right? That Google is king of search. We need to know what our soulmate customers are searching for, and we need to then create content around that. And that's what this is about. It's telling you ridiculously important keywords, Ricks. It's the keyword phrases that your soulmate customers are typing into Google when they need your solution or product. And it's critical to know. It's not always easy to find, but it's worth it to take the time to get to it.
Absolutely. We're still, not sure what direction where AI is going as of, today's recording, but as of right now, search is still forefront on the horizon. And so it is just mission critical to understand your core keywords and just really what is your ideal customer typing, right? What is the
Yeah.
problem that they have today? And and maybe some SEO experts might say, hey, your keywords aren't quite as important as they used to be. And I don't dispute that, but you still have to have that keyword in the phrase or part of the solution or the question that somebody's going to ask. I
Yeah.
know, I don't know about you, Damon. Like I'm finding my searches are getting longer and long. My typical search is probably like 10 words now. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
it gets a lot longer because now that we have, and this is something that I was just recently reading something about, generative AI is starting to try to answer questions more on Google searches, right?
Mhm.
Answer them. So your content really needs to go past a topic based and into an answer based kind of thing to help people if you can, because that's what the AI is looking for is answers, give people the best answers. And it's a wonderful thing to do to take the time to do it.
Yeah, and that segues right into the next tab here. The next step of our digital game plan is like, what are those soulmate questions?
Yeah.
I know one of your favorite books that you always love to reference is what?
They
From
ask you answer.
They Ask You Answer from Marcus Sheridan, just a phenomenal marketing book. Strongly encourage grab that book if you're new
Yep.
in marketing. But Damon, let's talk about it. Somebody's out there like, hey, I need, I'm best place for lunch near me, best smoothies near me, best, gym, whatever. Looking for that retail service provider in a B2B space. I'm looking for this specific part, or I'm looking for this type of machinery or this solution or whatever it might be. Why is it so important to really be answering those questions?
Well, it's your customers want to answer these questions.
Mhm.
They're searching for these questions. The better you can answer them, the more you're going to present yourself as knowledgeable about that subject and that service that or product you're going to provide. I mean, it's just really important. It's like if you're making skateboard wheels, you better be able to tell your customers everything about skateboard wheels because they want to go and say, "Hey, can I do this with your skateboard wheels?" Sure you can, or no you can't. And here's how you can get them, and if you really want to look at these people that are using them that way. I mean, the better you answer the questions, the more you're going to, as we talked about before, you're going to get the right people to you and the wrong people are going to go someplace else.
Amen, brother. I couldn't agree more. Now, Damon, there's a little phrase that you've coined because the more that you answer, the more that you build that word trust. Now it's lunchtime here in the East Coast. Are we talking eats? What are Google Eats?
Well, I don't even remember the acronyms that we're talking about, but the Google Eats bucket of love. When you fill that up, I just keep giving this information, share your knowledge,
Right.
keep doing it on your website, in blog, in
Right.
video format on YouTube, on social media. What Google does is it starts to recognize you. It says, Kurt,
Right.
he is the foremost expert in tattoo art because he posts about it. He writes blogs about it. He shows videos about it. He does all these things about tattoo art, and he just knows what he's talking about.
That's right. Right.
And that's how you do this. It doesn't matter if you're in manufacturing, car sales, or whatever the heck you're doing.
Yeah.
By getting your content out there, Google is aggregating all of the supposed knowledge you have with the content, and the more you fill there, the acronym.
Yeah.
I don't.
So it's EATS. It's double E, experience, expertise, authority, and trust. So you want, that's what Google is looking for. Just Google Eats bucket of love, and you'll see Damon coming up, right? But best line of 2024 right there is Google Eats bucket of love. But understanding those questions. And so, all right, so let's come back to the digital game plan. We'll start winding down here, Damon.
Yeah.
Is what we encourage is like, all right, let's get into the shoes of our buyer, of
Yes.
our soulmate, and what questions would they potentially be asking? Okay. So, live streaming, Damon, like what would be some questions? What equipment should I use? What microphone should I use? What day should I go live? How do I
Yeah.
find guests? What are some other questions that you would be asking?
Yeah, how can I name my live stream show? What are some tools I can use to go live on different platforms? What platforms are the best platforms to go live on? How do I live stream to my website? How do I build a live streaming community? There's just all kinds of things that you can talk about around a given topic or questions that you can be answering.
Right. How do I automate this? How do I make it
Yeah.
efficient? So our intention is, how do you get as many questions as possible? Think about your ideal customer, your buyer. What challenges are they facing today? What problems do they have? What are they potentially typing? And so, man, the old skate where the puck is, right? Meet them where
Yep.
they're at is, how do you answer those questions? Get them on your website, get them out on content, get a video, do live stream, whatever it might be, but just answer those questions. And that's how you stop being the best kept secret to get found. So,
Yep.
Damon, we're winding down on time. We've got a few tabs left. You know what? We'll save it for next time. How's that?
Yes, we will.
We'll have people come back to us, and I'm going to stop sharing. So again, guys, this is the digital game plan. This is just a wonderful tool, incredible resource that we've been using and building with our clients over. Damon, has been like a little fun project that we've been doing for years now.
Yeah.
And just absolutely love this. If you are interested in this, we're just dishing it out for free. We would love feedback. So if you want to check this out, drop either Damon or myself a note. We would love to pass this along to you completely.
Yep.
And rip it apart. If there's anything, if you have any feedback, any suggestions on how this could be better, what could be better about it, we would absolutely welcome and cherish that opportunity. So,
Yes.
Damon, let's close out. Words of wisdom, parting thoughts. What are your thoughts here as far as digital game plan and going that direction?
Well, you have to organize your thoughts in your sales and marketing, and really, this I think is an effective tool. It just helps you do what you need to do, and put your thoughts in order so that you can focus in on what you think and what you believe your customers will value the most, or potential customers will. Like we said, get the right people to you.
Yep. Love it. So, again, it's creating a marketing hub. And what it does, Damon, it prevents, hey, Damon, do you have that email from 6 months ago? Because I'm not organized and I'm kind of lazy and I can't find it. So let me bother you to go find something that I'm not capable of finding. Well, hey, Kurt, just go to the digital game plan, will you, dude? And quit bothering me. So the intention is, how can we just make our lives as efficient as possible, effective, get all that information in one spot, and just go out and keep crushing it. So, okay, we're going to close out. That was our little jam session today about the digital game plan. Again, if you have questions, reach out to Damon, reach out to myself. We'd love to have a chat with you about it. And you please have an amazing, incredible rest of your day. Damon, please.
Well, and if people want to learn how to live stream, that's one of the things that we've been having a lot of fun with recently. We just are releasing our first round of our live streaming course. So if people are interested in live streaming like we do, you want to see the tools, you want to figure out how to set up a show, you want to see the scripts and the automation and the systems behind it that allow you to get your own live stream started for business development, you can drop a note in the chat here or reach out to one of us directly, because this is something we feel so passionate about that have affected our businesses that we want to teach others how to do it.
Amen, brother. So yeah, that's dude, we're maiden voyage tomorrow.
Yep.
We have a wonderful live stream course, all sorts of information, covers a lot of the digital game plan. We would love to have you join us. And so until then, you have an amazing rest of your week, and we will see you on Friday.
See you, everyone.